I see my name in shining lights. Yeah, a different city every night. Oh, I swear the world better prepare for when I'm a billionaire.
It's time to get down to business on the weekend's #1 business program. Known as the King of Networking, your host Shalom Klein has worked with thousands of entrepreneurs and created countless jobs. So, to success. Let's get down to business.
We are all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. In business, we talk a lot about business here. You're on with Get Down to Business, and I'm your host, Shalom Klein. Remember, you can always download podcasts from Get Down to Business on my website at shalomklein.com. And while you are there, don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Shalom Klein. And you could actually visit my Facebook website to follow the show on Facebook Live. So tune in, share it with a friend. And remember, we are powered by our good friends at Tandem HR, your solution center. Check them out online, tandemhr.com, or give them a call for a free consultation, 630-928-0510. So we have a jam-packed lineup of business owners, entrepreneurs, people that have some great advice and stories to share with you. Let's get right into it. I'm thrilled to be joined by my very first guest and my friend, Mark Bromberg from Recurve Business Consulting. Mark, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
It's great to have you here, especially on Super Bowl Sunday. Mark, you have quite an impressive resume, and you are using those skills, using those talents to help many small business owners through your new-ish consulting practice. And I think this is an exclusive interview here on Get Down to Business. It's a pleasure to have you. Tell us a little bit about Recurve and what is up with that name.
Well, first, thank you for having me. It is a pleasure to be here. Recurve, I picked the name after a recurve bow. I do archery as a hobby. And when the recurve bow was invented hundreds, if not thousands of years ago, it allowed archers to shoot arrows further and faster with the same amount of energy that they would expend using a regular bow. So I thought that it was a cool idea, because what I try to do when the clients that I'm working with is to take the energy that they have in their business now and help them get more out of it. So we're really adding additional power and energy to what they already have. So that's how I kind of came up with the name. And it is sort of newish. It was really a branding of work that I have been doing with clients, helping them systematize their operations and also systematize their marketing, which is very often something that small businesses focus more on branding than they do on actual marketing and finding leads. And so that's how I'm spending my time.
Sure. Well, Mark, as our listeners know, I love to get to know the person behind the business. And Mark, as I mentioned earlier, you have been involved in many companies, including some very large companies and some very large names, ExxonMobil and Siemens, and as well as some very, very small companies. What are the commonalities that you've discovered between the very small businesses and the very large businesses, and perhaps the tips, but also the solutions that you are providing?
The ironic thing is that the problems are pretty much the same. The issue is the resources that one can put on them. And if you're an ExxonMobil, it really doesn't matter what kind of problem or issue arises. You have plenty of resources that you can throw at it, and it doesn't really affect anyone's business. If you are a 5-person office and one of the people has to spend 2 days working on a problem or an issue, that's a big resource hog. So it's why I like working with smaller businesses more, is you can actually see the impact that you're having. And the issues can be anything. It can be, how do I find an invoice that came through that someone's saying I haven't paid? Where do I got to go through the files. I have to start looking for things. It can be something as simple as that. It could be that your equipment, your systems just aren't set up to allow you to scale at the rate that you want.
Fascinating. And I know, Mark, you threw 2 terms around, which I want to get a little bit deeper into. You talked about system optimization and marketing optimization. Let's start with the latter first, marketing optimization. So tell us how your services would help a small company, a small business owner that might be tuning in tonight.
Sure. So in the marketing optimization really is a derivative of the system optimization, in that small businesses very often don't view their marketing as something that should be systematized. And what they end up doing is more akin to brand marketing, which might work for Coca-Cola just to get the mind share. But if you're a small business owner, you can't take mind share to the bank on Mondays.
Sure.
They won't accept that as a deposit. So you really want to focus your marketing in a way that is systematized to target what I call avatars. That who is the person that is most apt to do business with you and that you want to do business with, and how do you set up a system to truly target them and to keep them engaged so that when they're ready to buy, you are the person who is at that they want to work with.
Well, I love that that avatar where you really identify who that client profile is and make sure you're reaching them possibly in multiple ways.
Correct.
And targeting them, which is really impressive. So marketing optimization, and that's really, really helpful. Mark, I'm going to take it even deeper over here, and I'm curious, I know this is something you work with your clients on quite a bit, but working on your business rather than for your business. And I'm curious to talk about sort of taking a step back and being a bit more proactive. Every business owner listening tonight can relate to this, and I'd love for you to share some advice for them.
Sure. That what you're talking about is kind of gets into the system optimization, and many small business owners or even mid-sized business owners, they've grown their business to a point where they have employees and they have delegated certain tasks, but they may not have actually systematized things to truly empower their staff as to how to do the job, regardless of the circumstances that arise. You've hired somebody because you trust that they can do the work, so let them do the work. But if they don't know what to do if, in different situations, they're going to continually keep coming back to the owner for answers. So that's what kind of keeps people mired in that daily running of the business and preventing them from stepping back to work on the business. So by helping them systematize things and do so with an eye also towards the constraints that they're working under, document that, empower your employees. That creates an environment that allows the business owner to get out of the weeds and start truly working to grow the business to become what it is that they want so that they can then lead the life that they want.
That's fascinating, and that's the system optimization side of things. So, Mark, you have been involved in many companies, and you're taking those skills, you're taking those experiences, but you are a business owner. You have been in roles leading. You've had many different titles, including essentially running the operations of some very nice companies, some brands that many of us know and love. Now running your own business and now building your own website and doing all of those things, what lessons have you learned? What are some of the surprises that you have experienced?
There's one, and it's not a surprise. It said everything takes longer than you think.
Sure.
And the other thing is find resources that you know and that you trust, whether it's friends, family, or consultants or coaches, to really keep you grounded. You may have some great ideas, but you want somebody who's going to make you have to defend them and validate them to yourself, because they will be the ones to find the holes that you've missed.
Great advice. And do you have any goals for 2019? I feel like we're still in the New Year's-ish phase, and that means that it's still time that you can make a New Year's resolution. So here's your shot to share it publicly. We'll all hold you accountable. What's your New Year's resolution for 2019 as it relates to business?
It's not so much running my business or things like that, but a personal goal that I've established for myself, and I'm actually ahead of the schedule with it, is I want to follow Bill Gates' lead and read. I'm setting myself up for one book a month.
Oh, that's a great goal. And please share your top reads with us as we go forward. Very, very helpful business advice. Mark Bromberg from Recurve Business Consulting. Congratulations on your successes. Congratulations on the new-ish business enterprise. No doubt our listeners want to get a hold of you. How can they reach you?
One of two ways. They can call me directly at 847-868-0455, or they can reach me through the website of Recurve Business Consulting, and Recurve is spelled just as it sounds, RECURVE. CURVE, businessconsulting.com.
Oh, well, Mark, thanks for joining us. RecurveBusinessConsulting.com. Please check it out. And already I know, Mark, you're building out a blog with helpful information, so good luck with that, and please come back to share with all of us on Get Down to Business. Coming up after the break, I'm going to be chatting with Jeff Armstrong. More advice, business, entrepreneurship coming up for you after the break. Chicago, don't touch that dial. You're listening to the show all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship, and you can always download podcasts on my website, shalomklein.com. We have hundreds of past episodes, and you can get a sneak peek of who will be on next week on the show all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. We're powered by our friends at Tandem HR, your solution center. Check them out online, tandemhr.com. Give them a call, 630-928-0510. Once again, we will be joined by Jeff Armstrong, and you don't want to miss this conversation. We'll be back in just a moment.
Sean Hannity explains